Actually. You wanna come over? This money goes to the Is it also don't think that commodity figures? Yeah. Commodity packaging. They are comfortable. I'm surprised they don't give us stiff chairs to sit in. Don't stay there.
Just repeat the picture color.
That's a month. Thank you. Okay. I think so. And that's, I mean, I can just like you do that. Get a case of beans, you know, like you and I, that's when it should be done. Okay. Thank you. And then is this also like this?
This maybe? All right, 2:00 on the dot. We will call the Commissioner Weekly Working Session for January 12th, 2026 to order. In attendance, we have all three commissioners, Executive Assistant, Administrative Assistant Tiffany Tanner, Treasurer Sandy Brown. Up on screen, it looks like we have Courtney Dietrich, Kim Berg,
And
and
then
smiley face person. And then we have two members of the public. All right. Public comments on non-agenda items. Public comments on agenda items.
Would that include the council on aging? That would agenda items, so there's.
Sure, we don't have anything on the COA, on our agenda, so that would be on non-agenda items, and
we do.
We do.
Oh,
The
do we?
very top says commissioners to provide update regarding.
there we go. We will provide our update right now. So, update, ma'am, you
All
are
right.
the,
So our state commodity program, we are on a correction plan for the next 3 months, could be longer, but they're thinking.
Right, here.
So when they came in, they evaluated our inventory, how things were being reported, you know, those kind of things that fall under the program. They sat down, spoke with us. They're confident that we'll get it back on track now that they've come in and gave us guidance on that. They did the inventory, so we're all up to date on that. And we are handing them commodities today and tomorrow. So they did the ordering for us this time because they wanted to make sure that they were supplementing in. We had so much excess that they wanted to make sure that we were getting the other food types we have. And so all of those came through and they were delivered last week, and today they're we separated them out, and then today they're being handed out to all of them.
What was the problem with the commodities prior to this inspection and inventory? That were too many commodities being given out, excess amounts of commodities, which caused more.
There were concerns that commodities were given to people that weren't certified. They
They
did
were
not
given to
qualify
people-
for the program, which.
They were given to people who weren't certified?
Correct, that were not qualified for that program. So they have to go under a certification. You have to fill out a form.
My goodness.
Yeah. And they found a few of those, so that put us in non-compliance. And then we had excess food on hand. And I don't know, there was a misunderstanding throughout the years that there was to be so much extra, but there really wasn't supposed to be. So they kind of came in and refigurated all that. So we're back on track.
To get back on track.
And
So
yeah, so there you have us under a monitoring program for the next 3 months. They said possibly longer, but they didn't expect that it would be longer because everyone that was asked to be there and be clued in on everything, the procedures, all the paperwork, all that stuff was there. And so they felt really confident. Or better than it was. So, anything else on that?
well, the only comments I had today on the discussion that we've been having this last several weeks on the soft closure of the center where tax season, will the center be open for tax purposes this season?
Yeah, I foresee, yes,
Foresee yes on
yeah,
that.
I foresee that it will be.
Okay. And I have a call out to the aging services in Great Falls. I wanted to try to get some ideas from them on, I'm sure they maybe heard of our soft closure or whatever. And I just, I'm really after there is to not tell tales of our center because it's up to the commissioners and those at hand to decide when things will start turning again at the center. But I wanted to see if I could, this discussion came up last week of bylaws and this and that for aging services and a board of directors that could follow that and whatever. And I wanted to see if I could get, I'm trying to get an idea, some, what other centers go after as far as bylaws to make sure that whoever becomes the new director of the center and for the commissioner's purposes, that we don't go down this road again. You know, nobody wants to go down the road again, including you three, I know. And so I haven't returned they haven't returned my phone call yet. I don't even know if they'll be willing to share it on, but I think it's a good thing to come up. And I brought up last week that you know, the center ran for up to now with open doors, but right now we're having to look at you know, getting things back on track. But I really think that looking back at past budgets for the center and buying trends and the different things that were keeping the center open prior to this, it maybe be looked at. Because, you know, I think whoever was in charge of the center wasn't following those things and looking at line items, which are very important in any budget. And then if you're going to give us an update today on, you know, I called Sherry last week after the day after the meeting because I went to the center on Tuesday to play bingo. I don't know numbers yet, so it helps my brain. And as I was leaving, a member of the volunteer services down there over to my vehicle. I want to tell you something. And I called down here to the commissioner's office and I talked to Bill about it. And one of the volunteers says, they're closing it effing up, using the F word, you know, dropping the F bomb every 10 seconds. And giving me an update on what was going on. One of the commissioners told me that it's definitely closing next Tuesday after bingo. Definitely closing it. And I said, well, who did you hear that from? The commissioners. And I called Bill and shared with him who it was, and maybe he has shared with you. But I don't want to bring up names at the meeting. It's not fair. But I'm just saying, and I told Bill, you know, if anybody's going to be making announcements about the center, it needs to come from a commissioner, and the volunteer force down there needs to be, you know, they're not there to share tales with other people, even though they may hear something at the desk. You know, there's phone conversations taking place and this and that, and I understand. But I don't want to hear from a volunteer down there that I'm not very fond of anymore now. I used to have some respect for this person, but I don't anymore now. I'm just going to say that now, but I won't say the name. But I want my information to come from the county commissioner's office and not a volunteer. I just want that to be known because I'm sure you share the same feelings, you know. But will we be soft closed for sure after tomorrow? Will there not be any activities as far as bingo and this and that? And so that's, you know,
It's the 6th.
Yes, the
16th.
16th, we will be soft closed. Yep. We're hoping to get it open as soon as possible, but we need that time to go in and evaluate, do inventory, and I've said this all along, I've said it over and over. We have to have that time. We need to do that to get the structure so we can put out a public notice to say, yes, we can open in 2 weeks or 3 weeks or whatever we decide.
Yeah.
But we need that time as commissioners to come in and do that. And we have been bombarded daily since the announcement, and we have gotten very little time to sit down and do that, because every time someone comes and walks in through our door and sits down and talks to us, that's time that's taken away from us sitting there trying to figure anything else out.
okay.
And not that we don't appreciate people coming in, we do, but we have to have that time too.
I do have one question that I have been here that I'll ask it.
And answer,
Do we have to, I know the importance of serving meals, but do we have to serve meals in order to have a senior center?
keep our program going, yeah, our funding.
That's where a lot of the funding comes from, is for that part.
That's why we're so key on doing the deliveries at this point, so we can get in there and fine tune what we. have to
Right.
do.
And by us not doing those delivery meals, it will affect our budget numbers next year and also everybody else in our area.
Well, that was one of the other questions. I've had a heck of a time trying to figure out just who all the centers are, because nobody's websites are very up to date. And it's not just paper stuff. The whole world needs to be updating their websites.
That's the only one thing that.
Yes.
And one of the things that you had mentioned, Mr. Magnuson, I hadn't shared it with Sherry because I thought you had already had told her about that when we were
I
on the
hadn't
phone.
seen Sherry.
Okay,
When I called down here, I think he was the only commissioner in the office at the time.
okay. Because I thought you had said that you had told Sherry the same thing, so that's why.
Sherry was at the center, I
Okay.
believe, that day.
Well, that's why I hadn't
You
told
were
you
at
about that.
you were at the center actively in and out of your office, looking at.
And I keep telling everybody the same information. I haven't differed from that from last week even. Like, I keep saying the same thing until we sit down and can figure out a more solid, literally a solid plan.
Well, I think everybody,
We will be
you know, everybody leaves a meeting kind of with their own consensus of what they believe happened. And as we all witnessed, there were things certainly said in the last couple of weeks at those meetings that, you know, trying to point fingers at this, you point, you know, you do a lot of pointing at fingers, but if you point your finger, the only one that's one point back towards you,
Great.
you
We
know.
got 3 pointing back actually.
And so, you know, it's certainly, as you all noticed from the, you know, the size of the meetings of the past couple of weeks, that, you know, there's a lot of people certainly, worried about, what their future may be at the center. And I think, you know, some of the very positive comments came out of that. It was kind of like, I believe it was Mr. Dennis McKenna, is that his last name? McKenna, Dennis. Anyway,
Dennis.
yeah, he brought up the point, which I thought was, you know, it's kind of like COVID, you know, he used that example. You know, a lot of people never returned to a lot of things after COVID. You know, many places closed, things happened, and I think this could be one of those, if it's a long, drawn out process, that people just say, it's not there anymore, I'm not gonna go, I'm not gonna worry about it or whatever, you know. And so my hope, of course, is that you will do your due diligence and figure out. And I guess you'll be advertising for a new director, whoever the new director comes to be. And I did have one thought on that, is when the center does hire a new director, I went online to see if there were any sort of, senior center, associations, like, I was talking to Bill before the meeting there, his father was one of the first registered respiratory therapists, and I know many hospitals have respiratory therapy associations, nursing associations, and maybe our new director can talk, I think talking to your fellow colleagues sometimes is one of the best things. How are you making this work? And they give you some ideas. So whoever the new center director is in the future, I hope he or she will try to get they can have a conference call once a month. Say, hey, this is working. We did this. And that may help the county commissioners with the center.
Yeah, the areas are supposed to have quarterly meetings, and the area 3 has not had those quarterly meetings,
Okay.
for several years, from the sounds of it, because there were never any when I was there. But they are, Lindsay, who's the interim director right now with the area 3, is planning on putting one together. Not sure if the date has been set yet or not, but I will pass that on.
Oh, with her directors?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So that's a good place for those directors. I think they're planning on meeting in Chester, is the idea, for that exact reason.
Good. That's all I have.
All right.
Okay, along the line of the director, then let me ask. Are there job descriptions for these people?
Yes.
Have they been updated? Are they in detail enough? I mean, if I got correct figures here, we spend maybe close to $100 a month plus benefits for the director, reference tech, administrative assistant, and clerk. And surely somewhere in there, somebody should have the responsibility for the individual reporting and the inventory and all that type of stuff. Is it in the job descriptions?
Well, I believe in some of the bits and pieces
Pretty
are
lengthy one.
in different ones, but
Yeah.
that was one of the things that we were gonna look at before anybody's hired. We're gonna be reviewing each and every one of those job descriptions as a group here. So
Okay,
to make sure that some of these things that we're more aware of now than we've ever been are gonna be addressed. So,
okay. Because without job descriptions and detailed instructions and training, those programs can be easily set aside. And I'm not saying that it's this way now, but I do know that a number of years ago, inventory to people, they didn't comprehend just how important it was. So they threw figures together. I only know this from working for a CPA firm and how long it took to convince people that you have to physically count how many beans you have. So, okay, if that's part of your goal, that's all I needed to know. If we're not going to be able to hire staffing for a year or two, and you want to reopen the center, don't we have to have at least a hired director? We don't. We can function the center totally with volunteers.
Most places do.
Okay, all right.
When state found out how many employees we had, they literally were speechless. They had to ask us again what the number was.
Well, I was
And-
rather for.
Yeah, and most of them run off of 2 or 3 kitchen helper delivery or those kind of assistants, but the rest is 100% volunteer. And I tried to say that at that meeting last time. What you want out of your center is going to be solely based off of your volunteer services and what you make of your senior center, because you are the volunteer at that point. And so it is gonna be heavily ran off of volunteers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's good to know, because like I say, when I was looking at this, that's a lot of money per hour.
And some of the
That
places have,
excludes the cook though, the
Well, but,
kitchen staff.
well,
Yeah,
yeah,
so
I
the
was
cook
just
and the-
referring to the director,
Oh.
the reference tech, the administrative assistant.
and some places that director is director slash reference tech slash, you know, a lot of
Everything.
places that have multiple.
Well, I understand ours has been director slash janitor, so, yeah. Are you, okay,
Jake Boone.
they take turns, okay, okay. Well, I can come push your broom, I can't push the, but carry a bunch of stuff, but I can push your broom. What special steps does it take to allow, like, the wage group and the tax people to come in and use the facilities?
Well, Steve, it's quite extensive because he has to get approved through other federal agencies to even have it at our center, and it has been approved, so it can only be at our center.
Okay,
And so we already have that arranged. I've already spoke with Steve, and that's in next month. He's already training his
Right.
people, and he had to get, because the phone service, everything, the lines are hooked up through there. Everything is
Right.
very crucial that he runs it out of there. And so we have already told him that, yes, that is a go, because it does
Right.
serve.
well, several people
Those
have
people that-
commented to me or called, I sympathize with you guys because answering the calls you're getting, that have said if they can come in and do taxes and if the wage group can continue to meet, why can't the activities meet that don't cost the center anything?
The weight group, I told them to get a hold of me at the end of the month and we'd have a better plan of what we're doing,
Whether they
opening
can-
up, and that
Okay,
my hope and goals are to hopefully have it open by the beginning of next month, but we need, like I said, we
Right.
need to sit down
you
and
need to
have
have
a plan.
time to get.
So there might be several weeks that they're gonna have to miss.
Yeah, for the
least-
tax center, we agreed to have that open. Because it's already set up through government guidelines and everything.
I don't
Let them into the
understand
building.
how the ride situation is.
So
We have-
I didn't understand
Right,
that
for use.
question.
We have not offered rights. for-
Well, it still says that if you need transportation to call the senior.
And what we do, what they've done is that they contact our Central Montana Transit. So they have transport vehicles.
Okay, so that's just another thing that needs to be
I'll
updated on
update
that, yeah, okay.
Oh, so that's on the web. That's on there.
Probably is if Sharon says it is.
Well,
I
no,
believe you, I just
was looking
can't-
at different
I didn't know that
and
was
I've
on
had
there.
phone calls, so I can't swear if that's on the
Oh,
web
okay.
or if it was in the newspaper
Mhm.
or where that says call the senior center.
I think the newspaper says the transit.
Okay,
North Central Montana Transit, they have a line that you can call. Get
okay,
rides to Great, because I have a son in a nursing home in Great Falls, and that takes up a lot of my time now. It's a real tragic situation. So, and I know I call the number and they take me to Great.
Okay.
And I don't call the senior center to get that.
is the local council on aging board the same people that you refer to when you say we need a board for the senior center? Thank you.
They would be local peers. Is that what
Right.
you're asking? Yeah.
So on the website, it does transportation services. Transportation is currently not available, but I'll update that to say to contact the North Central Montana
Thank you.
Transit.
Okay,
And there is the Great Plains Veteran Service Center, way that does that is listed on here.
okay, is that for the veterans? Because I had somebody call me
Correct.
today and ask me about that.
So I will update that. Thank you for bringing that up.
That's on the website then.
Yeah, that
Okay,
says transportation is currently not available. I'll update that and say that we don't do it, but contact Central.
okay, I think I will leave you alone. Thank you very, very much. I can
Thank you for your question.
see those questions.
I was writing them down.
Wonderful.
I did.
Wonderful. I'll collect it at the end of class.
All right, any other comments or discussion on updating on the council on aging?
Yes.
Go ahead.
So Rick Lieber came in today and asked, Bill and I had contacted him regarding the stack on the fireplace and getting that topped off. He said, yes, you'd go look at it and then you'd probably get it done today. Well, when I got back at 1:15, he had already looked at it, capped it, and gave us the invoice. I already put in a claim for it.
Solid.
Yes.
Perfect.
Larry should be happy to hear that news.
Go. Great West items for discussion. Nada. Courthouse elevator and Montana Historical Preservation Grant. Sandy and I have been, or Sandy reached out to Craig Erickson at Great West. We're gonna meet on that. And I did talk to Daryl downstairs. He spoke with Coney. Sounds like Coney really doesn't want to do a full-on restoration of it. And he wasn't sure if they were even gonna put in a bid. But, once we talk to Craig, and do all of that, we'll be able to know more, cause, with this, the money that it's gonna cost to do this, and we only got, what, 350,000 out of that deal. I think it's gonna be, it's one of those that we can't do in phases, cause it's an elevator. So, I don't know. We'll see what the bids come in at. I'm a little nervous, but, Sandy and I will talk with, Craig and figure it out and go from there.
The bid process when started, yet? We haven't done that.
No, not yet.
So I talked to people at Northern because they have people that work on the elevators out of Missoula.
Oh, sure.
And Jim Potter's gonna give me the information on who they have there, who that's doing that, because they're also putting in an elevator over at Community Alliance Church.
Oh, wonderful.
So he's gonna send me the information so we can contact them. If they're already doing elevator stuff here in Havre, we might be able to.
Yeah, they're in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
So for you folks,
It used to be an elevator company called Otis Elevator. And it seems like they work on every
Everyone.
elevator and
I haven't heard of them for several years.
I don't know if they're still, it could be under another name now or whatever. I can remember the elevator breaking at the hospital in Great Falls and it was Otis Elevator.
I think that's where they were based out of, it's Great Falls.
Yeah, I think they were.
so our elevator was put in the 60s. It is so old now that it's hard to find even parts for. So we worked with Great West Engineering, who is our engineering firm. And they wrote a grant. We went and testified during legislature. It's a historical preservation grant because our building is a historical building. So we have to be very careful on what we do with this building. It has to be very by the book. So we put in for a $500,000 historical preservation grant. We went and testified in front of legislature, twice actually. And we were not in the top 10 at first, but we gave a convincing speech and we ended up getting 350,000 out of the 500 we needed for it. So, now that we got that money, we need to go out to the bid process and get our elevator up and going, so. Cool. Mako renewal. So Kia sent us over a thing, which one was it? When did she send that over?
He sent over a thing.
It was January 8th. January 8th. Well, that was when she's checking back with us to make sure we received the renewal information that was sent over last week. She said everything is due back to Mako by 12/16, so that does not give us much time to get this done.
216.
Sorry, 2/16. Still doesn't give us much time to get it done, because it does take a little bit to put that information
In
in.
216, we are at Mako,
Yes,
so
So really, that only gives us. That's
Yeah.
when we have to gather all the information together.
Did you guys want to talk about, I mean, have you talked about the elevator or
A
anything?
little bit, but I mean,
Need my comments or if I,
I would always love your comments.
probably not today. No, I'll just comment later on it.
Okay.
Okay.
Will do. Thanks, Daryl.
So what's today, the 12th? Let's do. But yeah, it doesn't, gives us a month to get all that information together. And back in.
The vehicle and equipment list is almost completed. I almost got all the values in there. I didn't hear it. And let's see, I just have to separate some of the add-ons and values apart. So just have to work with someone to do that, Jamie. So those are all done, almost done.
Well, in the original email that Tia sent us, she does have all of our vehicles, it looks like. I gotta go through it with a fine tooth comb, make sure that we still have all these vehicles and make sure that we have our new stuff in there, like the sheriff's vehicles and our graders.
That's what I just
And
got done
these.
saying.
Okay,
Done. Well, actually Katie has done the most of the work. But I just have to, because you see, I know how to do that, what the cost is, how they're breaking the cost down on that full coverage versus non. So we'll be able to put that in there. And I have to get the add-ons broke away from the actuals. But no, I almost got it all done. Those are the last few things that I have left.
I just didn't want to roll up on us because of Mako coming up and everything.
oh, fun fact, looking at the sheet here, since we're on the topic of the Havre Senior Center, it looks like the appraised value on that is $1.176 million. So, we thought
Which building?
the Havre Senior Center,
The Haver one.
$1,176,700 is the appraised value of that.
What about the Red Yard one?
That's with a cost benefit.
What's that? Red Yard. $959,100. I think we're gold. We're not Gallatin County. I hope they know that.
I know, I think this is a little bit out of hand.
So,
Rudyard Senior Center, is that in the reopening process or not? That's, I understand that's been closed for some time now.
yeah, it's been closed for quite a while. Yep. We haven't had, steady meals there. I think the last time we served was in September, was the last time we had a cook up there. We've been in kind of a transitional phase too. That building needs a lot of work. The commercial club out of Red Yard was kind enough to write a grant, and it was a 3-to-1 match for a PAR, a preliminary architectural report. So the Red Yard Commercial Club put up $10,000 of their own money, and it was a 3-to-1 match. So we got the PAR done, and they went through with it with a fine tooth comb, showed everything that's wrong with it, what needs to be done, what needs to be fixed. And at that juncture, they thought, oh, okay, well, we'll just tear down the old Sandvik building there in Red Yard and we'll build our own community center. So over the past year, volunteers in the community, we built ourselves a brand new community center. So.
If you want to repair that building, that is hard.
All right. We'll get that Mako renewal done. Blaine County MGIA grant contribution amount. I know what Shane's trying to do here, and I like it. It makes a lot of sense. Gonna make life a whole lot easier. My biggest thing is, where do we find $500,000? That
I think we're
Yeah.
gonna get the
Andy about
opportunity again to do that.
what's that?
think you're gonna get the opportunity again to get that so inexpensive. And I think that it will make things so much easier to work with.
Oh, on many, many
And
fronts. It
so,
just-
yes, I do think you need to give him what,
But where does that money come from? The extra 4,000 that we've already contributed? I think that's what it keeps going back to.
It does. It keeps circling back to,
there's lots of places because that's a graded structure. I mean, that's help for everybody. The money can come many places and 4,000 is not very much for that type of work.
What are we talking about?
GIS, mapping, for the county. Um,
Well, it's mapping what water.
yeah, mapping water for the county. So like Milk River, our different tributaries and whatnot. One of the commissioners over in Blaine County is really good with GIS stuff. And, he is working on grants that will help, get funding for, to do all this GIS, stuff within our region. So, but with that, it, takes money to get money for a grant.
Who's gonna use this data?
I could see a lot of different places using it. I could see elections using it. I could see the road department using it. I could see.
Election using the data on where the water's at?
Well, when it comes to like Bullhook and things like that. So,
I would go ahead and give him his 4,000.
We just need to know where it's
Oh,
gonna come
that's
from.
easy.
So if you can please let us know that. It
Still a
sounds
little
like,
apprehensive.
it sounds
I
like,
think that you are not gonna get it for much less expensive, and this is it's a lot better than the little paper map from 1920. It just,
well, can you let us know by the end of the week where
You
that
got
can come from? Cause I know Shane needs to know by next week. That's why he
You
asked
got
us to
it.
bring it up again this
I will give you an A, B, C, D choice.
often.
all right, discuss FICO contract for the district court chamber door.
So, we had a meeting
I have a
Really?
different
early last year.
agenda than everyone else.
It's
Go.
So we had a meeting regarding courthouse security, and one of the things the Securitas, we've talked about that, was the door to the judge's chambers up in the district court office room. They have some funding available to do some of these things. And remember, it's split out between the three court houses that, Judge Snipes, is part of. The money has to be used, said, by the end of January.
So have you talked to her recently and do you know the amount?
I don't, well, it wasn't like 10,000 for the three counties,
It's like, we get like
$3,300.
$300 out of that.
300 or 3,000.
You might wanna talk to her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cause I ran into her in the elevator.
Okay.
Last week, and she mentioned that, but we didn't talk about dollar amount, just that the dollars there, had to be used. And so there are some things, I believe, in the folder there.
Not very much.
Some of you guys think it was 3,300.
It's really small. That's what they got for the whole region and then
Oh, I thought it was
we get
three.
divvied down to us.
Okay, I thought the
Very
10,000 was the areas under her, and that was,
I would talk to her about it a little more. That was my understanding, so it really wasn't a whole lot, but it does need to get spent soon. And we were looking at getting that lock. He called, or no, we weren't gonna do that, she's just gonna do the fob.
Yeah.
Easier. Quicker response.
$300, does that even get you the
Oh,
the door handle or the
I don't know.
lock?
Key fob, yeah, key plate. I would, reach out to her and find out exactly what amount. I'm pretty sure it was very minimal. Alright. I could be wrong. Hopefully it's more.
It looks like we have three different options here, one for 5,700, one for 79, and one for 87.
And so is that something the court or the county would have to pick up the rest of? Above and beyond the, whatever their grant amount was. Or entitled to. Or should say district courts entitled to.
It's not all three. You have to go by. 8,700 was the camera and door. That was the first one. The 7,900 was just the door. And then the 5,789 is the new quote for the door. Carol just wanted you to have them all so you could see the
Gotcha.
breakdown.
Okay. Okay, so need to, you want to speak with the judge about that? Okay. Okay. All right. Proposed calendar and agendas. We have our weekly working session for January 20th. We have our Commissioner weekly calendar for Monday, the 19th through the 23rd. And then we also have our weekly business meeting for January 22nd, which will be moved to 2:00 p.m. on Thursdays instead of our regular time at 10. And I see you updated that on the website too. So thank you. We appreciate that. Hey, we're just talking about our agenda for the 22nd. Do you have any, or that you can see any surveys or anything coming up on that? That's okay. All right. Well, just let us know and we'll get it on there. All right. Thanks.
By 3:15.
All right. We'll hustle this up for you, sir.
Terry, will anybody be making any announcements, as far as for tomorrow about activities we seeing after Friday or for sure? Because I think last week when everybody left the meeting, they were all, some of them were convinced probably there were still going to be activities taking place because it didn't cost any money, yada, yada. So I didn't know if any, the commissioners, because I had people asking me and I said, I don't make comment on decisions made by the county, okay? So I
As
didn't know.
it stands right now, we are closed as of the 16th until we get time to evaluate things and then we'll put out a public notice.
Well, I thank you for your help and look forward to hearing that, we're gonna reopen as soon as possible.
Yes, sir. Mr. Mickelson, thank you for attending today. We
Yes, thank
appreciate
you.
your input.
If you have any more stories, feel free to share next time we
Have
see
any
you.
more stories about your father? I'll
Yes.
try to remember them and recall them, you know.
I appreciate that.
Very good at damaging door frames, so bear with me.
It's old, it's good.
Yeah, we're good.
So, looking at the calendar, how is this gonna work with our chamber meeting at noon and then You think our chamber meeting will be done by 1:30 for our treasurer meeting at 1:30?
Is that into the luncheon, is it?
Yes, it is.
Oh, it is the luncheon?
Glad you said it was old. It's older now.
Thank you.
That is the luncheon.
So do you all go to that or
Yeah.
just you?
So what do we want to do for that?
You know what, just make that a 22nd, I don't know, it's not a big deal, cause I gotta write to the state and tell them about it. And like,
Should we make it 1:00 on the 22nd then? Cause we have our working session at 2. Half an hour, is that gonna be enough time? If working session at 2 now?
yeah, you don't listen to any.
1:30 then or 2? Or 1:30 or 1?
Oh, whichever suits you guys' fancy, 1:00 is
On
cool.
which day?
22nd, just move it to the 22nd, she proposes. I was just wondering if she wanted enough time, have it at 1 instead of 1:30, because we have our working session at 2.
On which day? The 22nd.
22nd.
It's a Thursday.
Mhm.
When do we start going to our meetings on Thursdays at 2?
22nd, yeah.
22nd.
Our meeting, our,
Business meeting.
yeah.
Um,
1:00?
yeah, 1:00 works. Okay, let's do 1:00. Also for that one, our resolution number 2828 that we tabled.
Okay, so treasurer meeting, we're switching.
To 1:00 that day. It's just so we can make room.
I wrote it on your too. And
Writing anything on there?
for me,
I said I'm not writing anything on the calendar. File.
back up to commissioner minute. No, but I want to request that we get our March 2025 meeting minutes. And that we have, how far are you in on the meeting minutes for 2025 to?
I have December's, I was just printing, but
Or
I
do you?
didn't get
Oh,
finished.
I was just wondering if we could have those in the office so we can look at them and refer to them when we have time and we can do that.
I am in the process of reprinting them because I don't know where they went. And Lexus has to have them for the auditor.
Yeah.
So I asked her to give me till January 31st and have everything for her to the auditor.
Okay.
And then it's between you guys.
Do you have January and February? I was right in the middle of reviewing those. Then you had me to death and I haven't got a chance to have it there
Yeah.
to get them. I can just request them.
I thought you already signed up on.
Did that last time too. I
I know
wasn't
you're
done
not
reviewing them. I could get, I might be going with January's, but I'm not February.
Okay, is there, Title?
You're right here and yours.
Like to review them, please.
there's some discussion about, state general election day. That's the new nomenclature that we're using. as far as, you know?
That's what I was told to put on.
Okay, yeah, I guess. I just. Yeah, they keep switching up words on us. And then, we had the email back and forth between the auditor, about the mileage. There's a bunch of decimals and whatnot in there that the state came out with. Let's see if I can find it now. Change resolution to put this at 0.349 instead of 3.491. I see no issues with that, and thank you so much, Tiff, for getting that changed up in here. There's a two. You guys want to take a look at this? I'm just looking
Excuse
through.
me. On those, I mean, we've already did all that mileage meal thing. We went over it for months.
Mhm.
We're
squared away.
dropping that or what are we doing?
We're not gonna give any reimbursement.
Doesn't surprise me, but the point is, I mean, we've already had months of that, so.
And it was just,
Is that not,
New year, new discussions.
it was the,
no. I went over that and over that, so are we keeping that?
keeping it.
Keeping what?
Yep, we're keeping it.
No, I mean, because there was something last week in the resolution where it's half rate if you take your own, how, all this, well, we've had all that discussion. And,
It was stating what was in the statute, and then down below is where determines the board further resolves, and that's where the decision's made. But it's stating what's in the
but it
statute,
wasn't in there last week, that part.
right? That's why we tabled it, is to get that verbiage.
That's what I'm asking, is that
Yeah, the verbiage is in there now.
we have it in there properly where that is your department.
Department head is going to determine that yet.
Right.
Is that point 725 in there? I'm sorry.
If your person sends it in, or if they send in their mileage, a claim in for their mileage, I mean, their department already.
Yeah, for the resolve, subsection 6. It is Hill County's decision / policy that when employees are traveling in their POVs, when a county vehicle is available, it will be the department head's decision to pay it at the higher or lower rate, which will be indicated on the travel claim form. So,
And is it at the 0.72 rate, state rate? Cause she's asking to change that instead of.
so if it is at the lower rate, it's at that 0.349.
Yeah, that's
but
what she's asking.
the new-
Instead of the 3491.
Yep, which is fine.
Yeah.
It's like the whole penny issue right now, we round down, round up.
We don't have pennies anymore.
But yeah, everything else is, I mean, the state rate for mileage did go up 2.5 cents. So instead of 70 cents per mile, it's now 72.5 cents per mile. So
But she has 0.725. 72,
oh, 72,
0.5.
72.5 cents a mile. Yeah, 0.725. Those are not a dollar in front of it.
Those could be in pennies, but when they're paid.
Right, yeah,
I'm just saying that for you.
sure.
Then that, your, also last week, you didn't have in there that discussion that our meals were different. That was all in that discussion a year ago.
Yeah, the state rate versus in-state versus out-of-state.
But we changed ours last year.
Ours is under state regulation.
Right here.
Ours is under the state.
No, they
Yep.
weren't, yeah. They were not.
Yeah, it was under the
Yeah,
further,
because
for
we
further resolves, it was
looked it
under
up.
number 5.
Our rates weren't the same.
We changed them to what the state rate is now.
This resolution, Hill County states the meal reimbursement rates as follows, in-state and out-of-state meal rates. So, yeah, it's in there.
we're going back to them rates?
Lost.
You wanna take a look at it? Might be easy.
Yeah, you just want to take a look, might help you out a little bit.
Oh, Tiffany, I am done with January's, but not yours. Oops. Bill, have you even looked at it?
Not recently. I looked at it before, but I went back to look at old minutes, back there to see, because I wasn't quite sure how they should be written, so.
I just would like to get them caught up this year since we are into 2026.
Still have like multiple other years in it.
Officially 3 years behind, going on 4.
I'm almost current.
That's awesome. All right. Any public comments on non-agenda items? Any public comments on agenda items? Yeah.
So I got an email, or you guys are on the email also from Glenda Gardner for a statement of account for a contract. Looks like it's for a funeral home, Wilderness. Got a cremation for someone,
Was it at that rate?
Glenda Gardner. Looks like we need to get this paperwork filled out, but I'm not even aware of this. Is this something that Jeff had looked at?
Oh,
It was January 9th at 9:50 a.m. The email.
When did that one come through?
January 9th at
Friday.
10:50 a.m.
it's in my junk email. That's weird.
Oh, it came from Daniel Dahl. Okay.
Yeah.
So this, I've been asking you about guys about this, 11/21/25. Someone dropped this off for the commissioners. I wasn't at my desk, so I don't know who dropped it off. We ended up later finding out it was Jeff. Jeff called back. He said he is the one that dropped it off. He's recommending the commissioners approve this. This person has nothing. He said to wait for a bill from Wilderness Funeral Home and then get approved.
Okay. and we
You
did
guys
get
have
that.
been, yeah, I've kept you in the loop on this the whole time.
Yep.
I've just been told to hang on to it.
I just wanted to do that.
So this paperwork's here if we want to submit that for our next business meeting.
But I was told Wilderness isn't here anymore.
That's about the county, yeah, and I've gone over to talk with Holland Benign, a few different times, and I haven't been able to speak with the director.
When did they leave?
When did they leave the county though? Was it in November or before that? Because in the past, Wilderness is through Chinook also, and we've always approved these.
I don't believe
They
it.
ended up with October 23rd.
When did they move from, or when did they close up down there on Fifth Avenue?
That's what I'm trying to remember. Was it October or November?
They did close down there?
Yes,
Oh,
in town here. They're still operating as Chinook. And down the High Line there.
All right, I mean, sounds like Jeff's done his due diligence, so anything.
I think it was a process. It always takes a while to do, so I'm
Mhm.
sure that they were still here during the time he was.
Right.
I
investigating
don't know
all
how
this.
much it is. I haven't seen an invoice.
Oh, I'm sorry, it's for the regular amount of the $1,250.
You guys got an invoice?
Yeah, we got
I
this.
just, I sent it to you, or yes.
We, as commissioners, need to sign this, so I think we need to put it through our business meeting. You could just.
Want to get that on
This week,
earliest convenience?
When do you guys want it?
it's Thursday.
Is it too late for Thursday? For the newspaper, but not,
I can do it. It won't go out to the public. It'll go on the website and stuff, but obviously not the paper.
right? I was just,
Can add it to one of our agenda items.
yeah,
Immediately.
So he sent an email to us on September 8th. So it's in the Haber location.
So way before that came in.
When did they close again?
He sent us an email on Monday, September 8th at 10:30 a.m.
They were closing when?
They said due to understaffing, we have decided to close our Haber location. Doesn't have a date. Please let me know if you want Wilderness Funeral Home to provide the indigent cremation service for Hill County. I understand if I am ineligible.
I mean-
Told him he was ineligible.
well, I mean, until we can work out a deal with Colin Benign. I mean, had a dance for the one that burned us. So. I'll get it on, we'll get it paid, and get it moving. So, any other public comments on our agenda? Public comments on agenda items? Hearing none, being adjourned. 3 o'clock on the dot. Thank you, everybody, for coming.
Okay.